The following segment on Cambridge Technology Group features Dr. Donovan and Robert Palmer, Chief Executive Officer of Digital Equipment Company, speaking before an audience of 50,000 digital and corporate executives during a recent press conference in California.
Bonjour, konnichiwa, guten Tag, good morning. It's always nice to talk to executives. When I talk to executives and I say good morning, you nod your head and you say good morning back. When I talk to my MIT graduate students, they're very technical. I say good morning, they write it down. I should tell you, before the talk began, I talked to Mr. Palmer, and I asked him if he had heard my last speech. He replied and said, I had hoped so. He also said to me before the speech, he said to Mr. Galante that jokes about CEOs weren't permissible. It's nice to have tenure. People think I make these up. I don't. This is a serious situation. I've come all the way out here, and this is a long way. It's west of Worcester. And I've already found out people do talk funny here. I've come out here for a serious situation. I want to focus on you. The world is changing, and as Mr. Palmer said, not only is the world changing, your business environment is changing, and it's drastically changing. There are winners and losers. There's confusion. There's lack of harmony, business harmony and IT harmony. As you know, you're not a spectator here. You're a player. You must act. I want to get a set of framework, 3 frameworks. 1, on the global situation. What is the global economic situation? 2, on your business situation. And 3, what does client-server technology have with this? This talk is about you. Let's talk with the first one, the global economic situation. What's the lack of the harmony there? Globally, what's going on? Well, you have Europe, minus 1% productivity growth. You have Japan, minus 1%. You have the United States, about 1 to 2%. As opposed to a decade ago, consistently 5% productivity growth. What does that mean to you? Why is it happening, and what can you do about it? What does it mean to you? Let's talk about your children. At 5% productivity growth, the economy doubles every 20 years. That means your children will have double the standard of living that you have. At 1%, no. 1%, your children shan't have the standard of living that you have unless they work as hard as you have, and they are luckier than you are, and the rest of the world eases up on resources. That's a dramatic change. In the past decade, at 5% productivity growth, a blind squirrel can find a nut in that economy. It's a whole different world. How has that changed? The world changed from you got a barrier to entry with high volume. Now you're going to have to get a barrier to entry with high value. Those countries, those economies that change to that will be winners. Those that don't, won't be. Your business, it's confusing in business. Philips Electronics in Europe, they dropped in market cap 170 locations in the global market cap ranking of companies. 170. Tom Peters' book In Search of Excellence describes many, we've all read it, right? Just yesterday, it seems. Search of Excellence, many excellent companies. Over half of them aren't even in business today. I'm not even talking about doing poorly. I'm saying, poof, they're gone. People's Express, his centerpiece, poof, gone. Why? What's that got to do with IT? I'm going to say they didn't add value, they didn't have the IT infrastructure, they weren't able to do it. The business harmony wasn't there. Business, business, business. Let's take two companies today, not history. We won't do a Harvard Business School case, 1879. It slipped. It's not in the script. Let's take two companies. Let's take Walmart and Sears Roebuck. You tell me which one has the higher market cap. That is the value the New York Stock Exchange would place. Let me give you some numbers. They're both about the same size company. Sears Roebuck, $52 billion in revenues. Walmart, $55 billion in revenues. Assets. Sears Roebuck, $83 billion in assets. Strong assets. Walmart, a lot less, $20 billion in assets. Profit. Last quarter, Sears Roebuck. I'm talking about today, last quarter. We put in Business Week 2 weeks ago. Over $1 billion in profit. The second most profitable company in the United States. Profit, Walmart, around $500 million. Which one has the higher market cap? And the market cap of Sears Roebuck being $18 billion. Place that in perspective. The market cap of, let's say, General Motors is $25 billion. The market cap of Honda is about $10 billion. I'll just give you some numbers there. Which one has the higher market cap? Which one has the higher market cap? Walmart. Walmart's market cap is almost $70 billion. $70 billion. Let's put that in perspective. At $70 billion, Walmart. Now put this in perspective. This is a little grocery store from the Midwest. They haven't even gotten to the civilized world yet. Boston. That's not in the script either. They wouldn't have let me put any of this in the script. Another advantage of tenure. Let's put this into perspective. Walmart today with their stock, they could buy General Motors Corporation. They could buy ABB in Europe at $10 billion. They could buy Honda and still have enough money left over to make a run at their biggest competitor, Sears Roebuck. Or alternatively, let's go to the Bank of Tokyo at $20 billion. Let's go to Siemens at $22 billion, and then buy Sears Roebuck as well. Why? Why is it that this company here is so successful? In Sears Roebuck, another company in the same market with a better head start, they own catalog sales. They owned your hearts and minds, right? All of us read those catalogs and dreamed. What happened? Hypothesis. Business not in harmony with their customers. IT not in harmony with the business. Walmart has that harmony. Walmart has linked back to their suppliers, has linked forward to their customers. They're running their business in harmony with their IT. Harmony. Let's take your businesses. This morning, having breakfast out here, I talked to some of your companies. I talked to Wells Fargo. We saw here earlier a bank in Canada. You don't know what Canada is. They didn't tell me about this problem. Where's... Look, Will, it's up north. Welcome. Let's take banking in the United States. What is it that the CEOs of banks wake up and sweat coming down their face? In 1970, United States banks owned 62% of the banking assets of the world. Today, U.S. banks own under 7% of the banking assets of the world. Whoa! What happened? What is it that is making the CEOs of the major banks in the world worry? What in Canada makes the CEO of CIBC concerned? The CEO or the people that I talked to this morning at Wells Fargo. They're out here now. Two issues in banking. Consolidation. We have 14,000 banks in the United States, quickly consolidating to much less. One issue. How does IT do under consolidation? We know what that answer is. Next thing is customer focus becomes important as profit margins come down. I've got to have customer focus and add value. How easy is it to do that in a banking system where your IT, how is it organized? I go into one computer system, I get my letters of credit. I go into another computer system, I get my mortgage. I go into another computer system, and I get my private banking. Another one, my checking account. How do they organize? They're organized by product. How do they want to be organized by? By customer. I'm not talking about a little change here. I'm saying the whole architecture is wrong. The IT architecture is out of phase with the business. It's not a little fix, it's a dramatic fix. Well, let's take an easier industry. I talked to 4 people this morning here in manufacturing. Nice, easy, comfortable business, isn't it? No, it's heck out there. Profit margins are squeezed. It's really rough. How about your harmony between your IT? We had the president of a major jet engine manufacturer come in. And when I say come in, I've talked to about 600 CEOs in the past 2 months. One of them came in. He said, I was approached by the head of FAA. See this part? He said, oh, yes, that's one of ours. Nice part. No, it isn't. It's defective. Could you tell me all the planes that are flying around up there with your defective part? The president said, no, I can't do it. Why? How is his IT organized? How is all of your manufacturing IT organized? It's organized by function. You have your manufacturing function, your bill of materials, parts and assemblies. You have over in another computer system your customers. What customers bought what planes or bought what engines. You have another one over here, service. What engines got taken off of what planes and put onto another plane or swapped. You've got to track this part through all those computer systems. You're not organized by process. You're organized by function. You want to be organized both ways. My whole architecture. I'm not talking about a little product here. I'm talking about a whole architecture. Now, I can go through, and I wish I had more time, because I talked to 3 people here from petroleum companies. And the 3 people from petroleum companies that I talked about were, matter of fact, to relate them, one of them was from Chevron, one of them was from other organizations that were here. We happened to talk to one of the presidents of Chevron. How is he organized? What's happening in petroleum today? Petroleum today, it's tough. What's happening is you've got 65 million barrels a day being produced. You have demand doing what? Going down. What's happening to prices? They're going down. This is not economics. What do you have to do if you're petroleum? You don't have to worry about cost. Well, that's easy. Now I look at my wells and find out which wells I should shut down and which ones I shouldn't. 2 of the presidents of petroleum companies came to me and said, Professor Donovan, I don't know which wells are profitable and which ones aren't. My data is organized by engineering data at the wellhead, not by financial data at the wellhead. My IT is out of harmony with my business. Healthcare, pharmaceuticals that are here, who's your customer? Is it a hospital? Is it a doctor? Who's your customer? Answer, you don't know. Magnavox, TV, a television company. What's going to be your goal? What's going to be your function? You're going to become a client, so to speak. And who's going to make the money? Where is the value going to be added? In the network. Business, change, dramatic change. Retail, all you retailers, how are people going to do their shopping in 5 years? Answer, you don't really know. Is it going to be on their home TV, on their PC, or going to Kmart? Answer, you don't know. Neither do they. Answer, what? What computer system are you going to have that's going to allow you to continue to change, not change, oh, this is a journey. All I got to do is get to a new destination. No, 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 no. You better like the journey, because it's going to keep changing. The journey never ends. There is no destination. What are the business strategies people are trying to get over this? Basically, there are 4 strategies people are trying to get their business in harmony. All 4 are wrong. Let me give you the 4. Then I'll tell you the right one. Strategy number 1, I'll fire some people. I'll cut my cost. Cost cutting. Strategy number 1. Now, why is that wrong? To get a competitive advantage, to get a strategic advantage, what do you have to do? You have to do something that the other chap can't do easily. Firing people, what happened? Volkswagen fires one person. What does Mercedes-Benz do the next day? They fire one person. What does General Motors do? Fires one person. You can easily keep up with that game, can't you? as we all know. And then what does it do to the whole economy of that region? Answer? It wrecks it. Now the next thing. Oh, and by the way, each one of these, I'm giving you a simple, I wish I had more time. If I had more time, I'd tell you about the complexity. These models are more complex. There are some instances where cost cutting, A, is a necessity in the short run for survival, or B, if it involves productivity increases, such as return on assets, and you're cutting your inventory out, it's okay. But I'm making a general statement, and forgive me for being little simplistic here, because we don't have the time. But I want to give you the four to get us thinking about these business issues. Second strategy that does not work, protectionism. I'll protect our fine goods. I'll protect our minivans for those terrible people that are dumping automobiles on us. What does an American call the dumped minivan? A bargain. That wasn't in the script either. Protectionism doesn't work. Why? You take steel. Steel has been protected in this country for some time. We've gone from in 1970, over 70% of the world steel market to under 12% of the steel's world market. Yet we've been protecting that industry. Last year we spent less in research and development in the steel industry than we have in the last decade. We're not investing in corrugated steels or non-corrosive steels in the research and development necessary to get us a competitive advantage. In short, we're atrophying behind our protectionism. It's doing just the opposite of creating a barrier to entry. Protectionism in general. There are some specific cases where it will work, but in general, I'm making generalities here. Okay, you're going to forgive the simplistic model here. All right, I've got another one. Third one, financial restructuring. I'll sell my assets off. Sears Roebuck sells off their real estate area, their insurance area. Does anybody say, wow, now you're going to come back? No, that reshuffles the pie. Financial people get rich. Fourth strategy that does not work. We'll rely on brand names. Marlboro cigarettes. What happened 7 weeks ago, a very important event occurred on the New York Stock Exchange. What happened? Marlboro reduced their prices to be competitive with generic brands. The day they did that, $55 billion whoop, sucked out of the New York Stock Exchange that day in market cap of companies that were affiliated with brand names. What did that mean? That meant the aftermath of that you've seen. Johnson & Johnson reducing their prices, cutting 3,000 people. Procter & Gamble reducing their prices, cutting out 5,000 people. The aftermath is shocking. Brand names won't do it. Well, what will do? Now, again, these might work in the short term. Under certain circumstances, they might work, and we'd go through that differently. What's the only long-term strategy that will work? If those four won't, what will? Simply put, what will work is what? Continually adding value to your products and services, period. I've got to make it easier to do business with. I've got to re-engineer my business processes. United Technologies, re-engineering their business processes to make it easier to do business with. United Technologies, what did they do? They put in the hands of every salesperson, eat your heart out, salespeople that are here, a little PC. And they go in to the customers, and they sit down, and they turn around and configure their order. And in 15 minutes, they've got the order priced, configured, exactly the way the customer wanted it, as opposed to the weeks that it took in the old days. Plus, they have at their fingertips all the information about the customer. Ease of doing business. Productivity. Client server, by the way, we'll talk about. Clients tying into servers, servers tying into all those databases. We'll go back to Freddie Mac. Freddie Mac. What has Freddie Mac done? Productivity. 1/3 of the mortgages in the United States goes through Freddie Mac. Their own productivity. They've put consoles, PCs, in every single bank so that banks can order and sell mortgages more directly. Why productivity increases? Through client-server technology. That network has to be up all the time. For every second that network is down, they lose substantial quantified amounts of profit. Why? Because, boom, the transaction does not go to Freddie Mac, it goes to Fannie Mae. Higher quality, Swedish tax board. You can now go to any place in Sweden and get your tax information, whether your corporate taxes or personal taxes. Unilever, effectiveness of products. Online effectiveness, monitoring how well products are doing in response to advertisements. All of these are adding values to products and services. Speed to market is absolutely essential. Every sector has this. Why did Walmart succeed? They added value to their products and services. Let me give you the third one and the last one that I told about. I said I'd have a global situation, economies not doing well. Your business confusion. The business model can't do just those four things. You must continually add value to your products and services. I'm going to tell you the biggest tool, hence the third one that we're coming up with here, James, is what role does IT play? It is the only tool that we have that can consistently, easily add value to your products and services. How does IT do that? What do you need? You need an IT architecture that can keep changing as your business keeps changing. That's what this client-server announcement is about. It's not a hardware announcement. I have to make a distinction here because you need hardware underneath it. But clients and servers are not PCs in boxes. It's not a PC in a mainframe. Clients is a function, a program, that asks another program to do something for it. The client is the thing that asks for it. The server is the thing that does it. Both of those programs could be on the same machine. It's a logical structure. What this architecture does, it enables your IT to harmonize with your business processes. You have separate components now. So, for example, you have presentation, functionality, and data. You want to have client, server, and standards-based. Let me give you an example here. The example that I want to give you here is last week we had a very senior executive here from BIB. BIB is an organization that makes sheets. He told us that it cost him $250,000 to change the price of his sheets. So he makes a distinction. Before he's going to change the price of a sheet, he's going to decide, can I make and profit more than $250,000? If you had client-server technologies, one server would be computing that function. Change it, put it back in. You don't change any of the presentation, you don't change any of the data, you don't change anything else. You want that component aspect of it. What do I see when I talk to your CEOs? I see frustration. I see frustration in two areas. It takes too darn long to build systems, right? And it takes too long, I can't change them, and I can't, they're not flexible to my business sorts of things. If I asked for a show of hands in here and said, how many users are here? How many technical people here? And I said, the technical people, how many of you are working hard? How many of you are using good technology? Everybody would raise their hands. I said, how many users here are satisfied with their IT? What would happen? I wouldn't see a lot of hands go up. How are we going to change that? We got to get IT working with the business. I got to make sure I got an architecture that can change. That's what this client server does. Allows me to change my architecture in these ways. A vision. The vision I'd give you is you want to incorporate in your organization the computing environment for the next decade. And that's going to be a client server, presentation, functionality, and data in standards-based, meaning the way servers talk to clients and clients talk to servers is through standards. So I can plop anybody's transaction manager in there, anybody's functionality in there. Will Rogers said, just because, and everybody here is, you're on the right track, that doesn't mean you won't be run over. You're also going to have to work very fast. Now, as Mr. Palmer said, he did say the same thing. Let me end with this. He said, it's a commitment that you have to standards. You need a global partner to join you on this journey. This is not just an announcement about products. It's an architecture. It's a whole new way of thinking. This is a journey, as I said, not a destination. If you think that I got another widget, I got another way of doing things, it's not going to work. This is a long-term relationship. We have to change both the CEO and IT. Let me stop here for just a moment. The CEO, how does it have to change? When I go up to CEOs, are you ever finished with your quality control? Answer, no. Are you ever finished with your profit? No. Are you ever finished with your IT information system for producing an inventory? The answer that CEO would say, yes, and the answer is wrong. We'll never finish these systems. They're always going to be evolving. As soon as we finish the inventory, we've got to add order entry to it. We've got to add suppliers. We've got to add everything else to it. IT, harmony with business. CEOs have to change, and IT people have to change. Both have to change. What's your role? Your role is going to be action and leadership. Let me tell you about leadership. What is a leader? A leader is a dispenser of hope. What is the hope? Hope is to bring harmony to IT and business. That's what we talked about. Hope is to bring value to your products and services to help your customers. Hope is to make your region more productive. Whether you be in Canada, Michigan, France, Spain, we're global. It's a rising tide. Everybody rises, everybody wins. Hence, increase the standard of living of the people in your region. Let me end with dream. We've got a dream of a better world for the people in our regions. Better world for our customers. Better world for the interactions in our company. My daughter always said, if you can dream it, you can do it. She had many dreams. She's always done them. That's where we are here. If you can dream it, you can do it. Best to you.